Hello everyone, my name is Kate and welcome back to more Chaos Head Noah. Last time we got the Nanami ending, which was the pretty depressing, but hey, it's nice to at least live in the nice soul delusion, right? Anyways, this time we're gonna be getting the next ending on our list, which is the Yua ending. Now I'm gonna tell you a fun story while I get this ending, which is the fact that I screwed up a big time. Basically, this is the second time I'm trying to record this. I completely botched the. I completely skipped the question that gets me into the Euro route because I didn't realize it. And I was just like, kind of going through the entire game, or I was just going the entire first chapter, just talking. And then I realized, like, oh, hell no, I messed up. But where I'm supposed to actually jump into the next route is on the very first illusion of the game. It should say I felt bad here, right? I felt bad, yep. Okay, I don't know why I completely sidestepped this on my first go-around. Anyways, it's just a coincidence. No. I'm making it up. It's all in my head. No. The new Gen Killer is somewhere in the school. Yes. Whoever wrote this is trying to provoke me. Yes. I should definitely erase it. Yes. Nah, what's the matter? You recognize it, right? Achievement unlocked, you recognize it, right? Discover Yua's story. Yep, we got it. Misuku walked up to me, grabbed my shoulder, and gave me a good shake. Are you even listening? Oh, Daku. It must have just been a common phrase or something. In other words, it was just a stupid, pointless scribble. I tried to tell myself that, but I couldn't just calm down, so in the end, I just went up and erased it, moving quickly so that nobody would notice. Alright, we're officially in the route. So now we should get a couple intermissions with Yua that'll be a little bit different, maybe. And then eventually it all culminates into getting the next ending, which apparently takes... Oh, wait a minute. This is different. Shibuya Station was a much different place in the early morning than it was later in the day. Young people were scarce, and countless businessmen, following a jarring ride on the crowded trains, rushed out of the station and scattered every which way into Shibuya. It was a place marked by indolence, yet engulfed by an air of restlessness. The students of Suimei Academy carried that with them as well. However, the number of them present was rather sparse. Shibuya Station was about 20 minutes away from Suimei by foot, and on top of that, part of the route was an uphill trek via Dogenzaka. Most Suimei students taking the train would depart at the stop nearest to the academy, Shinsen Station. Kusunoki Yua, meanwhile, took on the unnecessary task of walking from Shibuya Station. Waking up early for this did not cause her any headaches for her. The heart of Shibuya was often suffocatingly crowded, but as soon as one began to climb up Dogenzaka, the number of pedestrians dropped sharply. Taking the extra time to walk and breathe in the refreshing morning air was something Yua quite enjoyed. Part of the reason why she chose to walk from Shibuya Station was to see the news displayed on the jumbotrons above Scramble Crossing. As she waited for the pedestrian signal to change, Yua appeared at the O front jumbotron, just as she always did. And upon doing so, she gasped in shock. The captions running across the screen before her had taken her breath away. The headline read, "Third New Gen Incident." A certain boy's face rocketed to the forefront of her mind. A boy whom she did not know, nor had ever spoken with. But it was a face she had seen the previous morning at school, though for Yua, that was enough evidence enough to convince her that he was the true culprit behind New Gen. Yua could recall the events of the previous morning vividly. 7 a.m., Suimei Private Academy. Yua marched quickly through the empty halls. It seemed that no others had arrived yet. Her expression rigid, she gazed straight ahead without faltering. Without a hint of restraint in her stride, Yua advanced onward, stopping only once she arrived at a certain classroom. The sight the sign which framed the room number read 2C. Following a quick gaze to confirm her destination, Yua slid the door open without hesitation. 2C was not her homeroom. As a third year, she should have no reason to even set foot in there. Absolutely no reason at all. That was how it would be under normal circumstances, at least. But right then, she had a specific goal in mind. After methodically scanning the empty classroom, Yua approached the blackboard. She perused the selection of chalk colors for a brief moment before picking up a pristine white piece. Then, using intentionally poor handwriting, she wrote a single sentence in the blackboard. Oh. Huh. Whose eyes are those eyes? She whispered the words to herself after writing them. Gently placing the chalk back down, she surveyed the room once more.
I wonder how you're going to react. How you're going to react.
Her whispers continued, for nobody to hear but herself.
Maybe you won't be fazed. Or maybe he'll surprise you and then maybe you'll try to erase in a hurry. If you do that...
In the silence of the empty classroom, her intimidating voice echoed.
I'll have evidence that you're the killer. I'll be hiding. Watching. Watching your each and every move. You don't know my face, but I know yours. I know it. I know your face. I've seen it, and I'll be watching. I do wonder, though. What will be going through your head when you see the blackboard? I suppose I'll just have to see. Right, Nishijo Takumi-kun?
Yua forcefully bit her lip. After she had finished her task, Yua made her way to the roof to kill time until the students of 2C finally arrived. Then, 10 minutes before the bell rang, Yua returned to the hallway. Peering in through the door, she kept an eye out for anyone who might react to her inscription of whose eyes are those eyes. And just as she predicted, a certain panicked schoolboy was the one to erase the words. One look at his face, and she could tell exactly who it was. Nishijo Takumi.
I'm sure of it now. I know it's you. It has to be you. It can only be you.
She muttered those words to herself, only for them to be drowned out by the speaker mimicking the sound of pigeons cooing. The pedestrian signal at the scramble had changed colors. The massive wave of pedestrians collectively ceased their standstill and began moving at once. However, Yua remained where she was, paying no heed to the possibility that she may be in the way of those trying to cross. She simply stood in place, focusing all of her attention on the subtitles that appeared up on the Jumbotron. Alright, we're already at a big enough change to make me paranoid. Yippee! And by extension, I actually did end up seeing one delusion that... I saw this one. This one's pretty disturbing. It's, Nanami dies by drinking soda. I'm gonna be honest with you. There you go. That's all you need to see. Yeah, let's just not get into that, shall we? Let's just close the book on that. Anyways, Yua's gonna have quite the presence here. I assume it doesn't matter what I choose here. I think I've already chosen... I don't know if I've chosen positive there. I should probably try doing positive next time. If I can remember. But, she wrote... Well, here's the thing. I don't think she actually wrote those words. She, in a delusion, she wrote those words. Do I want to know if I... You know what? I'll save that for another day. I'm not in the mood for it right now. We still have a couple other endings to go, so I'll have more than enough time to check that out. I just am not in the mood. But I'll check later. Imagine dying to soda. Sorry, I was just thinking about that Nanami delusion. Wait. Kusunoki Yua was born with a twin sister. However, she had died 1 month ago. It had been ruled a suicide. The two were like a pair of couple necklaces, incomplete without one another. Their bond simply was not comparable to that of ordinary sisters. The shock of her death left Yua feeling as if she were only half the person she once was. That was how much she adored her twin sister. When she heard the news, an endless waterfall of tears sprang forth from her eyes. She collapsed onto her sister's bed, desperately searching for the girl who had been living there until only yesterday. Why did she have to die? Yua searched for any answer at all, but found none. It wasn't really suicide. She would never kill herself. Somebody must have murdered her. These thoughts only fueled the flame of her grief. Maybe, you thought, maybe she left behind a message that nobody's found yet. Tormented by feelings of guilt, she began rummaging through her sister's possessions. When she did, she found a single diary, and within it were the words... Oh, what in the world? Why do you have this? Whose eyes are those eyes? It was a clear cry for help from her sister. Even so, Yua had no idea what that phrase meant. With nothing to lose, she decided to search for it online. Among the results, she discovered a single essay. Wait, I can see Nishijo Takumi. Whose eyes are those eyes? One that had been entered into the National Elementary School Writing Contest. It was a competition that had been held 6 years ago by the Ministry of Education, and the title of one of the winning essays was, Whose Eyes Are Those Eyes? The author's name was written beside the essay title. While the kanji could be read in multiple ways, the correct reading was clarified. Nishijo Takumi, a 5th grade elementary schooler at the time. However, that was where the trail went cold. She had no idea what connection Nishijo Takumi had with her sister's death. Then came an incredible coincidence. It was rather common for Yua to pass by Shoto Park on her way to school. And in that park, about twice a week, she would spot a lonesome schoolboy eating bread. As Yua observed him in his time of solitude, she somehow grew fond of seeing him. On her way to school one day, Yua happened to run into a friend of hers at the station. The two of them decided to walk to her, eventually coming across the boy on the bench. Upon seeing him, her classmate spoke up.
That guy over there is the second year named Nishijo. He's in my birth class. He's one of the Shadow Otaku, so you should really stay away from him at Kusunoki.
Nishijo. Nishijo. The characters in his name would normally be read as Saijo. For it to be read as Nishijo was an anomaly. There was no way it was a mere coincidence. As soon as she could, Yua got her hands on the list of second-year Suimei Academy students. And there it was. That name. Nishijo Takumi. Still, the shared name would not stand on its own as decisive evidence. It, too, could be merely coincidental. I see you now. So you decided to put her theory to test. I'm starting to make... It's starting to make a lot more sense why you... Assuming that all this is real, then it's starting to make a lot of sense why Yua did what she did. Whose eyes are those eyes? She wrote those words on the blackboard and watched as he trembled in fear. That was not the end of it either. Leaked eyewitness reports from the crucifixion incident, which claimed a Suimei Academy student was spotted fleeing the scene, exploded across the internet. Yua had all the evidence she needed. Nishijo Takumi was a suspect, and he very well could have been the one who had murdered her sister. Honestly, I'm starting to completely understand why she was so adamant on accusing us. It makes a lot more sense when put into perspective here. It makes a lot more sense. I completely understand now why she hated us. Anyways, let's just keep going. Ow. Wonder if anything's going to change here. Hello, evil. Evil. I'm actually surprised that nothing changed there. I'm going to be honest with you. I was fully convinced something would have changed there. Look at the bad guy in the background. I'm almost positive I got every delusion there. I don't know if I actually did this Wait. No, not you. You go away. I've already seen the good and the bad with you. I do not want you to suck out all of my organs again, please. I'm not in the mood. Anyways, yes. I don't know if I did this before, but yes. Yes. Is there anything else I can click? Name? Medical record? Can I fill in the little... Fill in Nozomi... Okay. A question. You're completely and utterly delusional. It's very possible that you can no longer live without your delusions. You constantly fall in love. up with two-dimensional characters and you wish you could walk straight into your computer screen. Real life will never be fulfilling to you. It's too late, but there's no need to feel guilty about it. It doesn't matter what everyone else thinks. Surrender yourself fully to your delusions, to your imagination. As long as you're happy, nothing else matters. I just ask that you stay cognizant of your own health. Always make sure to eat, take care of yourself when you're sick, and take care of yourself in general. As long as you do that, you may continue living your blissful, luscious, delusional life, where you never have to worry about the pain of reality again. Your delusion shall never betray you. A word from Takumi. Did you know if you stay a virgin till shut the fuck up. Thank you, Gabe. I had a feeling like I missed something before, but I can fix that, can't I? Yep, I was right. I need a drink of water. I gotta reach around for it. So I wonder if that, if the moment where, shoot, why am I having trouble? Wait, we already would have passed it by. I don't know. I already did the negative here, and I'm not interested in doing the positive again, because I am not interested in having to black out the screen again, nor in reliving the thing again. But anyways, I've already done positive and negative here. I know that for a fact. Hello. Drac. I don't know why I was perfectly timed with that, but that was very funny to me. Also, chicken sandwich. Anyways, where are we at right now? 3, right. Chapter 3. So it said that it should split off around chapter 7. We still got a ways to go. We already saw, I know I already saw positive and negative here. I do not feel like ever wanting to see the positive again. Again, I feel like the positive is more scary. Maybe it's just me. Also, you got hit by a car almost. Hello. Misumi, I'm going to be an asshole to you because I feel like it. Bye, Misumi. I don't know why I wanted to do that. I just did. I just felt like being addicted to Misumi. This was not the time. I don't even know which one this is, so negative it is.
You found me out.
Of course I have. How many times have I told you not to stand behind... Huh? Was that a woman's voice just now? Goosebumps stood up all over my body. Had the reclusive owner of the gaze finally decided to show themselves? Was that even possible? Should I turn around and see who it was? But what if she attacked me the moment I did? It was a fairly cute-sounding voice, but what if, in reality, a monster far removed from anything human was standing there? No. If that were the case, wouldn't that mean they were getting ready to attack me right now? If I didn't turn around now, I wouldn't even notice if they killed me. Maybe I should say something else to see if they respond. It's possible that the voice I'd heard was just a hallucination or a delusion or something, so that'd help confirm it. I mean, I talk to Serotonin figure all the time in my head. It had to be the same thing. I tried to be bold and say, "Who are you?" but I hesitated. If I was to provoke the attacker, it could have easily spelled the end for me. Could have caused her to finally stop waiting and attack me. So many delusions ran through my head that I found myself completely paralyzed. What should I do? Maybe the whole thing was a product of my own design, and I was just being the world's biggest dumbass. I swear, if the owner of the gaze wasn't there, and I'd just been sitting here trembling in fear over nothing, I was gonna kill my...
Taku? Why you sound so tense?
It wasn't a hallucination. Startled, I reflexively turned around. Hello!
Hiya!
The demon girl. The girl sitting on the sofa was undeniably... Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. Is this just the same thing as before? I know that there's probably, like, slight text differences, but... I'm gonna be real with you. It feels like... Do a deer. If it's just, like, the same situation playing out, but with the only difference being the words being said, then I am just going to fast forward through this. Because again, yeah, I like the curse, the spewing blood. Please screw me over. Yeah, this is basically the same thing, but just maybe a little different wording. I just don't feel like reading all of this again. Because, again, it's the same thing the other times. I'd be better spending my time just mashing through the dialogue. Though I do wonder why it's considering it different when it's... Well, again, well, I actually answered my own question, actually. I already said why it's probably different, slowed down, because it's technically a different route, or a different delusion. But it's interesting that the positive, negative, and neutral delusion here is pretty much all the same, except, again, I think the only difference is, like, a few changes in wording. But I don't remember there being any, like, major change. Actually, no, that's not true. There's one change that's actually... There's one route that's different. Positive and negative delusion both resulted in this thing happening, but neutral results in the door being opened, right? I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Because I remember that from the first route. Yeah, I remember. So... Yeah. How much... I'm gonna have to pull my... I'm trying to keep my mouse away. Wait, hang on. I'm gonna stay quiet for a second. Bear with me. Wait, whoa. This is different. Oh, wait, never mind. No, it's not. Remy. Where's my mouse cursor, if I ask? There it is. I've already seen this. Oh, I'm gonna stay quiet for a second. Oh, okay, you can still faintly hear it. I'm trying to keep my mouse as far away from my mic as I can so that you guys don't hear me mashing the click button. Because again, this is all the same dialogue. Maybe it's the same thing being said in a slightly different way. I'm not interested in it unless it's a giant major difference. I was kind of hoping... well, isn't it weird that I was kind of hoping that Tommy would turn around and it would just be a huge giant monster? I mean, we've already seen that it's possible to see something like a giant alien. Remember, from B-Root. So, we can definitely see stuff like that in this game. Why not make it like a giant, just summon G from Resident Evil. G5 specifically, the final version of G. Just summon William Birkin's final form of mutation. Just give me that, just suddenly in the shipping container. It'd be fitting enough. It wouldn't be the most, like, out stretch of a situation, I feel. If I could stop yelling, that'd be pretty neat, too, as well, you know? Misumi could just shut up. How many lines of dialogue do I have to click through? Imagine how much time I would be taking up if I was actually voicing all this. Again, as I'm kind of skimming the dialogue as I'm clicking, but nothing here seems to be big difference. So if it's just gonna be what I already have, then I'm skipping it, because what's the point in me reading the thing that I already know again? Where's my mouse? There it is. Not the mouse that I'm holding, obviously. The mouse that I'm on the screen. Though you guys can't see it. It's currently underneath the lamp. Not like... it's still... I just noticed the lamp makes a 7. I know that's a stupid thing to say, but I just noticed it. Anyways. Are we almost done here? Remy, please. At least let your face open up into some horrifying monster to make this negative route worth it. Please? Because this is all the same. Leave me alone, Remy. I'm starting to get tired of hitting clicking the left mouse button, I'm gonna be honest with you. There we go, finally! Ugh, I need to crack my knuckles and fingers and soul at this point. Ugh. Okay. I'm okay. Just had to get through that. Hello. Bangle. Bagel. So, what's next on the delusion agenda? Oh yeah, you. You call it a strange thing to want to see, but I just want to see the, I want to see the evil face again. There we go. I don't know why, I just felt satisfied seeing the evil face again. Evil Kozue makes me laugh for some reason. There's just something... You know what it makes me think of for some reason? It makes me think of freaking Adachi from Persona 4. It makes me think of freaking Adachi's face. That's what it makes me think of. That's funny. I don't care about this delusion here. It's just either beating the guy up or getting shot by snipers. I don't really care either way. Still nothing else shown regarding Yua. Not for quite a while now. Chapter 4. We still got we still got a bit longer until we get to the next part. Ow. Alright, what's the next illusion? Isn't it right here? Yeah. Negative? I don't actually know what I did here before. Well, evidently I did it before as well. I don't know. Hello, small one. Hello, Nanam. Nom nom nom. Ah. Nanami, scream! Hello, White Chain. Just keep going. Whee! Yeah, with the speed up, it looked like she was. It looked like it was almost properly animated for her to eat the popsicle. Is this not changed? Of all things that didn't get changed, that being one of them is very surprising to me. Anyways, let's get chased by Yua. Yua, you're supposed to have the most changes here, I thought. Oh, it's definitely got to say something different. Surely regarding her, like, changing her mind about us being pure evil, and then instead just being, like, split personality. Surely they're going to have some kind of dialogue relating to that, right? I am not choosing any other delusion this time. Do not jump scare me with you in the nude or in the friggin' and bathing or swimming suit. Just wear pajamas like a normal person. There. Wait, I thought you were wearing pajamas. I'm thinking of you in the hospital later. I for some reason thought you were wearing pajamas now. No, you're just wearing your outfit. Why did I think you were wearing pajamas? I know it was because we see you in pajamas later when you're in the hospital, but that's later. That was nowhere near now. Whatever. Surely there's gotta be a change here, right? We're in chapter 5. I'm going to need to pull up the guide again for how to get through the bad ending. Should I probably know how to get through the bad ending? I don't even know. I'm just gonna skip through this. Hello, Yua. I'm gonna be real with you. I think that was the best choice because Yua appeared in it. I kind of completely forgot that Yua was even in that shot there. I'm just gonna pick here. I do not want to get assaulted in a freaking store or cursed. Just look at the brain jiggler. Just look at the brain jiggler. Do not. No, 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 no. We are not doing this again. I swear. I swear we are not doing this again. We are not changing Rimi's clothing. We are not changing Rimi's clothing. We are not switching Rimi's clothing. Thank you. Actually, I could have gone for the more casual fit. It's cute on her. Anyways, bye-bye, robot. It's all... Rimi truck, go! I don't want to hear either Rimi nor Nozomi? Nozomi is... No, I for some reason pulled out the name of the I wasn't referring to the Nozomi of, like, this game. I was referring to friggin' Last Defense Academy. God, I've been playing too much of that game. But I want more. But I want to play this as well. Point is, I was referring to someone who's not even in this game. Oh, hi there. Whee! Still no differences. We're in Chapter 6 now. We're getting close to the switch in path. We might just try and get the ending all here today, honestly. Because why not? Considering how quickly we're going to be going through these other endings now at this point, I might as well. Right, I've already seen what yours is. I would rather not show the positive and then have a dead Rimi in my room. Hello, Ayase. Goodbye, Ayase. Whoop. How does Narose get the other samples that he needs? I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I think I'm not in the mood for it right now. I'm almost positive we haven't done the positive route here, but I'm just not in the mood for it right now. I'm sorry. Anyways, evil to evil communication. Anyways, what's next? I think the next major thing should be in regards to the bad ending, right? Just open the tinfoil. Nothing can be wrong. It's nothing like a severed hand. Severed hand. Alrighty. So I actually need to make sure I avoid getting the bad end here. Alrighty here. Alright, I saw the sword. Yes, I saw the sword. Distinctly saw it. No, no, yes. Yes, yes, no, no, yes. Yes, yes, no, no, yes. Alright, there we go. Have I done a positive delusion here? I'm gonna assume I didn't, so... Nope, I have. I don't know why I didn't think I did or not. Anyways, psychopath. So we're not... Okay, it switches into the Yua route after this. Okay, right? After this chapter. Right. We'll branch into the route in Chapter 7. It doesn't matter what I pick here. I've already seen both. Sad music. Piano. Do. Orange. The boy Esper is now cringe. Hello, everyone. You know, I'm gonna be real with you. Takumi, just let your rage out. Takumi, I give permission to murder. Attack! I set my Takumi to attack mode. Goodbye. It's gotta be changing soon, right? Hello. Whee! This is where we meet, Kozue. I was about to say, I don't remember your name. Maybe I've gone so overwhelmed lately, I had to create a new personality inside my head just so I could cope with everything. Right, I actually haven't seen a lot of the neutral delusions here. I gotta see these. Whereas you're right, and I really do have multiple personalities.
Kazubi is her own Kazuki. He's a different person than Shijo-kun, you got it?
I've heard that people with multiple personalities can't have conversation between personalities, but maybe this is an exception.
Like Kozi said, Kozi's a different person.
I was getting really fed up with this voice. I wonder how I'm going to be able to stand just this annoying Kozubi personality, let alone all the other ones. Besides, how many personalities do I have inside me in the first place? I read in some book somewhere that there are patients in the US with as many as 24 personalities. And on top of that, I'm not even sure if the personality I know as me is the main one. Maybe the original personality that owns Nishijo Takumi's body isn't actually me. As I stood there, frozen and dumbfounded, the transfer student poked my shoulder with her finger. When she poked me, she tried to mumble something, but hadn't ended up saying anything. So instead of speaking, she decided to timidly raise her hand.
Kozubi is Kozubi!
Huh?
Kozubi is Kozubi! And Kozubi is not transfer student neither of these. Her name is Orihara Kozue.
Orihara Kozue. I very faintly remembered hearing that name from Misumi-kun a long time ago. Kozue. Kozue. Kozupi. No. Does this mean that the voice I'm hearing is one that you're saying to my head? The transfer student nodded her head emphatically. Telepathy?
Kozubi doesn't really get how any of it works. But yes, Kozubi can tell telepathy.
That's ridiculous. Whee! Whee! But yeah, I think I'm just going to choose neutral delusions for now. Because I'm pretty sure I've actually seen both the negative and the positives here now. And if I haven't, well, I definitely haven't seen the neutral. It was way too big to be swung around like that indoors. There were other customers around. If anyone were to get hurt, it'd be a total disaster. Kazubi's behavior was making me really nervous. I wasn't sure if it was because she knew I was afraid, but Kazubi recklessly lowered her sword and spun around on the spot. She looked like she was having fun.
This is Kozubi's sword. It helps Kozubi beat up and down the baddies.
Beat up and down the baddies? Those words made me feel uneasy. Something bothered me about them. Oh dear. Whee! And then we go into her memory. Pull out sword. Attack. I set my Kozue to attack mode. Stop. I will give one happiness. Actually, what is neutral here? I don't think I've ever seen what neutral here is. What is it neutral? I gotta know.
I refuse.
What? She shot me down in less than a second. Oh, fine. I see how it is. She was the type of bitch who's like spit on other people's kindness. Or could it just be the general prickliness of a tsundere? Acting like that IRL wasn't moe at all.
Okay, how about this, Sanshan? Takumi-chan will give you wings if Sanshan says the Shibuya magic words that Sanshan and Kazubi study the other day.
I said I don't want it.
Oh, come on, just do it. Say you think Sanshan's supposed to say when she's having fun. Now I think about it, I'm like having so much super duper ultra fun that's crazy. Like, wowie zowie, very good.
What kind of Dokyun Garu language was this? She even mixed in some words that had fallen out of usage several years ago. So they'd been studying that? It had to hurt to listen to, but in a way it was actually kind of charming.
So Seishan and Kazubi can fit right in Shibuya. Come on, Seishan.
I can't. Not here.
You can too.
No, I can't. Kazubi got teary-eyed once again, and she stared unrelentingly at Sana. If she did that, Sana would have to... Now that you mention it, I'm having so much fun. It's insane. Like, wow. Very good.
Seishan's still pausing a whole bunch.
Sana, now red in the face, turned away. I had born witness to something truly precious. Something rolls away from... Dorimo truly was to be. GJ Kozupi, G fucking J. Thanks to you, I managed to catch a single ephemeral glimpse of the true potential 3D still had to offer. Anyway, with all that said and done, I handed over the winning stick to Sana. She accepted it with surprisingly little pushback. Anyways, don't expect a thank you. Upon saying that, she made a show of picking up and shouldering her D-sword as she scowled at me, leading me to quickly look downward. Wasn't sure why she had to intimidate me like that, even though I'd just given her something. I really had no idea how to deal with her like this. Why did she just stay in dairy mode all the time? Anyways. Ow. Whee. Wait. What was that chapter called? Excuse you. I saw that was a different name of a chapter. Normally this chapter is called what? Psychopath? No, this is... No, chapter 7, Psychopath. I don't remember what chapter it's called, but it's definitely not... Sun and Moon.
I don't want to play Pokemon right now, though.
No. Initiated by Mose, a meeting was slated to be held at Free Ship Credit Bureau, a meeting to which Bam was now running nearly half an hour late for. Hmm?
Banchan, you're awfully late. I'm not getting any younger, you know.
Mose's angry voice hurtled into him as he entered the office. In response to this, Ban gave a minor shrug, then proceeded to walk up to the desk of Free Ship's president with an amiable smile on his face. He had not brought any refreshments today, something he was beginning to believe may have been a lapse in judgment.
My, where's Stuart-chan?
He's off working on our project for today.
You sure do enjoy working youngsters to the bone.
Yeah, I'm working hard too, Missy. I was up all night yesterday doing all kinds of research. Thanks to that, I've learned a thing or two about the culture surrounding high school girls these days.
I'm at a loss for words.
Oh, hang on a second. Apologies, I was saying goodbye. You know, I just did something very risky. I just adjusted the power plug for my computer. If I had, like, screwed it up in any way, this recording would have been kaput. But yeah, I was just saying goodbye to grandparents. Sorry about that. They live, like, 10 minutes away. I'm good. I'll go see them tomorrow. Besides, I seen them earlier. I'm feeling guilty. They won't want me to feel guilty. They always tell me I'm being ridiculous.
I'm at a loss for words. Something you're very talented at causing.
Well, anyway, since you called me over here, does that mean you got in touch with the kid?
Yes, she's here right now, in fact.
Nice work, Momo-chan. Oh, and while we're on the subject, she a cutie?
Slap him. Momose promptly smacked Ben over the head, stopping his opportunistic grin in his tracks. The sheer speed with which she had turned her wrist made the slap especially fierce.
That's enough stupidity out of your mouth for one day, you old lech.
I was just kidding.
Before arriving at the building, Ben had made a private request to Momose. It entailed setting up a meeting between him and a certain person connected to the new gen cases. Rather than not anything work-related, it was merely to satiate a personal curiosity. He was not planning on talking about anything related to the new gen investigations for the time being. And due to his position, Ban could not simply meet with the person on his own, else he would risk drawing the ire of the detectives he was getting ahead of. Momose urged Ban over to a corner of the office. It was a fairly cramped space, almost all of which was already taken up by shelves packed full of files. The location was used as a reception area of sorts, and a pair of love seats had been wedged into the only place they could fit. Ban entered the section after Momose, and his eyes landed upon a lone girl sitting in one of the love seats. The girl was wearing a Sume Academy uniform. Her head and shoulders were curved toward the ground, and she looked incredibly haggard.
Sorry to make you wait, dear.
The girl looked up in startlement upon hearing Momose. In the process, her glasses had slipped down her nose a bit, leading her to swiftly readjust them with her finger.
Oh, not at all. I don't mind.
When she saw Ban, her expression turned slightly fearful, before bowing her head and greeting a moment later. Ban felt somewhat hurt by this. He had made every attempt to look as non-threatening as possible in both bearing and appearance, but the girl's reaction made him realize that despite his best efforts, the ferocity and intimidation particular to detectives was seeping out all the same. Looks like I've still got a lot more practicing to do, he thought with bitter amusement as he sat across from Yua.
Kusunoki Yua-san, right?
Yes.
The older twin sister of the late Mia-san. I got that one right, too?
Yua slightly adjusted her posture, then returned a nod. The first New-Gen incident, the group dive. Among the 5 high schoolers that had leapt to their desks was a girl named Kusunoki Mia.
Well, there's no need to be nervous. Don't think of me as interrogating you. Just think like we're having a nice old chat. But before we get to the topic at hand, mind if I ask you something? Yua-chan, what's your opinion on your sister's passing?
Ban-chan, what on earth are you...
Whoops, sorry about that. Comes with the territory. Yeah, I sometimes forget to be considerate when I'm talking to people. But still, I am curious. I overheard people at HQ talking about it, and they said that the late Kusunoki Mia-san's family was quite strange.
Ban-chan! No, it's okay.
Before Momose could rise to her feet over Ban's insensitive comment, Yua stopped her.
I also believe something is wrong with them.
Hmm?
The 5 that jumped off the roof in the group dive had no reason to commit suicide. Their friends and family all insisted that. But Mia-san's family was different.
Ban took his fan out from his belt and began cooling himself.
I've been told that they were the only ones who weren't adamantly against the idea, that they accepted it just like that. In fact, they said so little it was almost bizarre. Why do you think that is?
After Mia-chan died, both Mom and Dad snapped.
Anguish seeped from Yua's voice.
On the day we heard about Mia-chan, they cried and cried. Mom and Dad seemed absolutely heartbroken. And yet, the very next morning, for some reason I can't understand, they were smiling, happily. It was as if they'd gone right back to how they were before Mia-chan died. It only took a single day. I was at a complete loss. I thought that maybe they were trying to forget about Mia-chan. But then, with this big smile on his face, Dad said something to me. He said, "You don't have a sister." Even when I showed them her clothes, her shoes, anything Mia-chan left behind, they completely disregarded it. He just said those were just a few extras we bought for you just in case. They ignored the news and everything the police said. It's like they were trying to completely erase Mia-chan from their memories.
What you mean to say is, they were trying to make themselves think they never even had twins.
That's when they told the police they only had one kid before turning him away.
Mia-chan and I were identical twins, so while our appearances were exactly alike, my sister wasn't exactly favored by her parents. And yet, she always kept her feelings secret. And she always put me before herself.
You know, I'm almost curious. Do you think in the Nanami ending, what ended up happening is we real-booted a version of Nanami that was what Takumi wished to envision. A world in which there was just him and his sister. Do you think that in this ending of Yua's, do you think we're going to real-boot her deceased sister? Do you think that might be what's happening? As Yua spoke, memories from when Mia had still been alive resurfaced in her mind. First came a memory of when the two had still been in elementary school. One day, some relatives brought the girls a single large teddy bear as a present. In contrast to the raw joy you have displayed, Mia insisted that she did not like stuffed animals, and proceeded to not even so much as look the plush's way. Both the relatives and parents were upset with Mia for not acting as a child should. But despite Mia's protesting, Yua whispered to her that the two of them could share it, that it could be something they could both treasure. However, in response to her sister's kindness, Mia simply said that she did not want it, and that Yua could have it. About a month later, when Yua had grown tired of the teddy bear, she woke up in the night and happened to witness a certain scene. With an incredibly joyful look on her face, Mia was hugging and talking to the bear plushie. That was the first time Yua had ever seen her sister so happy. And from this, she realized that her sister's insistence about disliking stuffed animals had been a lie. Mia had been keeping her own feelings hidden, all for the sake of her older brother. The next day, Yua found a lovely drawing of a bear beneath Mia's pillow. Until her sister grew tired of the teddy bear, Mia had been hugging and sleeping with the drawing in lieu of it. Things very similar to this happened again and again over all the 18 years they had spent together. For their birthday celebrations, Yua would always blow the candles out on the cake, but when Mia was prompted to do it, she would say, "I refuse to do something so ridiculous," angering her parents. Yua advanced to the private high school Suime Academy. Mia, meanwhile, had been misbehaving at school, deliberately scoring low on exams, and thereby moved on to a public high school. Due to the exorbitant fees, their parents would have only been able to afford sending one of them to a private school. No matter how hard Yua would try to let her sister have something, Mia would always gain the upper hand and force Yua to be prioritized. To achieve this end, she even intentionally took a dislikable attitude.
To the very end, I took advantage of Mia's-chan's kindness. Before now, I only ever thought of myself. After Mia-chan passed away, I can't help but think there must have been something I could have done for her. I felt so much regret. I wish that I could have died in her place. And even after everything, to think our parents forgot that she even existed. It's all too much. It's too sad for me to take.
Yua, having now reached her limit, could no longer squeeze out any more words. She took off her glasses, pressed her fingers against the corners of her eyes, and broke down in tears. Momose sat down beside her and gently rubbed her back.
Well, it sounds like Yua-chan has been investigating the incident on her own. Also, she can find out what happened to Mia-chan.
Oh, that's easy. Must be really hard on her.
And in the process, she was able to identify a certain individual.
As Momose held Yua's shoulders, she turned her eyes toward Ban.
Nishijo Takumi-kun.
I see you now.
Stroking the stubble on his chin, Ban leaned forward from the sofa.
At some point or other, I did hear about the non-stop pursuit starring Nishijo and a high school girl. A detective from another jurisdiction let me know. Might have been you, Yua-chan.
Yua nodded apologetically.
Interesting. Very interesting. Would you mind telling me more? Actually, I was going to ask if you'd tell me more, but I've got to duck out for a minute here.
With a strange smile, Ban lightly bowed his head to Yua and Momose. His words had been interrupted by the cell phone in his suit pocket. He swiftly took out the phone and checked the screen. Sua's name was displayed across it.
Yeah, what you need, kid?
Sir, the Seventh's here!
What'd you just say?
Sua's voice sounded strained. The sounds of investigators frantically scurrying about could be heard through the phone. Sua must have been in at the investigation headquarters. The 7th new gen incident happened. Ban's eyes opened wide, and his expression turned bitter as his teeth sank into his lip. Sensing the seriousness of the situation and from his behavior, Momose and Yua watched the detective with unease. 3 Vicks. Apparently they were buddies. All 3 were sliced in half at the torso. Their upper and lower halves were then swapped around, and then using synthetic fiber, well, fishing line to be specific, the mismatched halves were sewn together. They also had wounds on their foreheads in the shape of the letters Q, D, N.
Some kind of message?
No clue, and it doesn't end there either. The autopsy found something pretty interesting. The severed parts of the Vic's torsos weren't split by a saw, knife, or any other kind of sharp object.
And how they end up in half?
Apparently, they were torn apart by some strong force.
Torn apart?
Ban repeats Sua's words back to him with a low groan, then roughly scratched his head with the handle of his fan.
Like a monster did it. Or like one of those wizards that are real popular nowadays.
Sir, are you being serious? Sorry, but it doesn't matter how big of a movie buff I am. I just don't see myself agreeing with that opinion. Yeah, thanks, Mr. Jackass.
I'm just making a comparison, you schmuck. Never mind that, just get back to investigating.
After barking that order to Sua, Ban ended the call. Okay. Oh, this is different. By the time you have finished up with Ban and Mimose and left Frisia, the sky had long since been covered by a thick veil of darkness. During the time she had spent there, Yua had explained all the suspicions she had gathered from her investigation of Nishijo Takumi. Ban was a detective, and Mimose was the head of a private investigation agency. If she could get the two of them on her side, then perhaps Nishijo Takumi would finally be arrested. That was what Yua had been hoping for. Nishijo Takumi needed to be arrested. Yua had sympathy for the boy's painful circumstances, so she would have preferred it if he had turned himself in to the authorities. But since he had refused to do so, she had no choice but to get the police involved. That had been her plan, at any rate. But much to her surprise, Detective Ban had told her that Nishijo Takumi had been removed from the list of suspects. Yua found this news absolutely unbelievable. She did not want to accept it. Why had her theory been dismissed? It was blatantly obvious that Nishijo Takumi was behind Nujin. Biting down hard on her lip, Yua increased her pace as she hurried toward the station. She returned home as quickly as possible, investigate the case from top to bottom, and find some conclusive evidence. And with that evidence, she would be able to prove her theory correct to Detective Ban. So I think it is, little Miss Kusunoki. Who? The sudden sound of her name startled Yua, stopping her dead in her tracks. The words of her homeroom teacher came to mind. Shibuya has become all too dangerous lately. Women really shouldn't be out alone at night right now. Remembering that warning, Yua froze completely. The voice she had just heard belonged to a rather friendly-looking young man. Oh. Let's see, what was your name again? Yua-chan, right?
Do I know you?
She felt like she had seen him before somewhere, but at the moment, and could not remember exactly where. But you'll remember me. It's me, Sua Mamoru. Here, check it. Making sure that only you could see it, the man took out his police badge and showed it to her, then quickly shoved it back inside his suit pocket. After the group dive went down, I paid your family visit. Real nice people, all of them. We talked about all kinds of stuff, and I know for a fact you joined them too.
My apologies. I remember you now. Thank you for coming to talk with us back then.
Yua bowed her head. The incident had really shaken her to the core, so much so that she genuinely could not recall Sua's face. However, their talk back then had indeed helped Yua to sort out her thoughts regarding the bizarre nature of her sister's death, and for that she was truly grateful to— oh no. You were with Detective Ban just now, weren't you?
Huh? Is Benson an acquaintance of yours?
Well, we're in the same division as the TMPD. You see, he's my senior. I swear though, the guy can't go a day without laying into me about something. I'm sure talking to a nice young lady like yourself made him pretty happy though, so maybe he'll give me a break today. It's just between you and me. When he said he'd be meeting with you today, he had the creepiest smile on his face. And look, I love the guy and all, and I'm 99% sure he had something real dirty going on in that head of his. I wanted to tag along, but I had work to do on the investigation, you see. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I need to get in touch with your folks. I thought about heading to your own house directly, but if only there were a better way.
Why do you need to contact them?
Oh, nothing crazy. It's just about the group dive. We discovered that the culprit may have left something behind.
What? Really?
It was the first you had heard of this. With all hesitation now evaporated, she stepped closer to Sua. Yep, the mass media recently spotted at the scene of another incident, so it's picked up quite a bit of steam already. You guess what it is? You're never gonna believe this, but it was a Darth Spider helmet.
Was the group dive culprit wearing that as well?
Yep, remember that video of the incident that pops up online? After we got back the analysis, it became clear as day. By the way, speaking of Darth Spider, there was this huge uproar in Shibuya about some Esper boy. He made the news and everything. If I remember right, his name was Nishijo Takumi, I think? Yeah, I wonder, why would the Nishiju guy have a Darth Spire helmet just like the guy behind the group dive did? You are an actual piece of shit. The moment she heard those words, dark impulses began to flood Yua's heart. She'd been completely convinced. She'd only begun feeling it a few moments ago. That all she needed was one more piece of decisive evidence. One piece to prove herself to Ban and Mimose. And now she had it. Well, I gotta head to Frisia now, so if you'll excuse me, miss. With that, Sua waved goodbye and left. All by herself now, Yua stared down at the pavement, utterly paralyzed. You son of a bitch. Yes, him. Her murmurs were to no one but herself. He did it. He did it after all. He had to be the one who did it. He did it without a doubt. He killed my little sister. He killed Mia. Oh no. Takumi, your time is going to be very short. Yo. Hey, Narcun, I've been waiting for you. There's been another new gen. We're even talking about inner Aussie art here. New gen, dude. What the fuck do you think I'm on about? How exactly did we go from new gen to nude gen? New generation, new gen, nude gen, nude gen. Come on, that shit's obvious. Use common sense for fuck's sake. More importantly, there's a seventh case. The seventh case. It happened again. Another new gen. How long was this damn thing gonna go on for? Was I next? Would I be the victim of the 8th case? The 9th? Anxiety aside, Grim was pretty much the new gen news guy at this point. He'd been keeping me in the loop about basically everything. Even now, he was going out of his way to link a bunch of blog posts and news about articles about it. Seemed like he really wanted to take a look. Biting my lip, I reluctantly clicked the first link. The Dokkan puzzle. I already seen it. Dokkan. Buy swapped. News bear.
At approximately 4:50 p.m. this morning, near a railway road in Shibuya, a passing newspaper salesman discovered the bodies of 3 male homicide victims suspended from an iron pole. The police investigations discovered that the victims were all residents of Shibuya: Fujita Kohei, unemployed, Anzawa Saburo, a college student, and Takagi Ryo, a construction worker. Each victim had been severed in half at the waist. Their upper and lower bodies were then interchanged with one another and stitched back together with thread. There were also mysterious wounds carved into their foreheads, and the police are investigating the possibility that they may have been a message left by the culprit. The authorities believe this case is part of a series of grotesque murders that have been occurring in Shibuya over the last 2 months. The investigation is ongoing. At the end of the news clip, photographs of the 3 victims are shown. I had seen those faces before. It's them. The guys who beat me up yesterday. I gave them my wallet, but they kicked my ass anyway. And I had then fallen unconscious, and when I woke up, Kazubi was beside me. The 3 of them had been collapsed on the ground, covered in blood. I dug my wallet out from my pocket and stared at it intently. When I came to, Kazubi had been carrying it, and she'd given it back to me soon after. Could the person who killed those 3 be... No, definitely not. The last time I'd seen them, they had been beaten to a pulp and covered in blood, but they hadn't been cut in half or anything. Which would mean they'd been killed after Kozubi and I had left. It had to have been Shogun after all. Was he trying to provoke me? Was I next? Would I be the next one to die? It was also possible that Shogun could show up again in person. He seemed to be playing with me like it was some kind of game after all. Maybe... Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. I can't read this dialogue right now because I swear to God I just heard something. And it scared me. Just the thought alone terrified me. Or you may save me, please.
Where'd you go? Weren't you supposed to protect me? Oh, shit. So, place your bets now. Do you think this is going to be a short ending or a long one? I'm going with... I'll bet 1. I'll bet 1 on it being long. Just now there'd been a knock at the door. Someone was there. You know what? Screw it. I switch my vote. I will bet 1 on it being short. I looked at the clock on my PC. It was past 8 p.m. Who in their right mind would show up this late? Wait, Remy, it had to be her. She'd finally come to save me. She said she would stay by my side, hadn't she? So it only made sense that she'd come back to me. Would have killed her to come a little earlier, though? Feeling like my salvation was at hand, I practically threw myself at the door. I then removed the padlock and opened the door. Bad move! Tried to call out a name, Remy's name, but a hand suddenly clapped my mouth shut. Panic instantly overwhelmed me. I didn't even have the chance to see who it was. I tried forcing the hand off my mouth. Before I could, my attacker threw all their weight against me, and I staggered backward. Still, I desperately tried to stand my ground. I filled my arms around wildly, thinking it'd somehow help me break their grasp. I then opened my mouth, my mouth wide open, and bit down on their hand as hard as I could. But despite that, my attacker remained silent. They weren't even phased. I'd been down with all my strength, so they must have been in pain, but they still didn't let go. They pressed against me even harder, causing me to lose my balance. No longer able to resist, I fell to the floor with them on top of me. The back of my head hit the ground so hard I nearly lost consciousness. My vision started to go blurry, and I couldn't tell how exactly I'd landed. And to top it off, the assailant was still covering my mouth. So tightly, in fact, that I could barely breathe. My consciousness was starting to fade, so before I blacked out, I desperately tried to get a glimpse of the person who'd attacked me. Hey, Yura? Oh god, I completely forgot about her. I was so focused on Shogun, his #1 underling slipped my mind. Realizing that, the sheer terror sent shivers down my entire body. I struggled as hard as I could, desperately trying to escape. But under the full weight of her body, I couldn't move an inch. Under normal circumstances, I would have been focused on the fact that our bodies were pressed together, but I lacked the capacity for that right now. Now wasn't the time to be drooling over female contact. There was only one thing on my mind. I needed to get away somehow, or she'd kill me. Blood trickled out of Yua's hand where I'd bitten her. Even so, she kept pressing down with all her might, her grip just as intense as when she first grabbed hold of me. She was trying relentlessly to keep my jaw shut, to the point where her nails were digging into my cheeks. A sharp stabbing pain pierced through my body. It was you. Her mutters came between ragged breaths, much to my horror. I had to keep resisting, so I pushed Yua's long hair and pulled hard. But Yua still didn't budge. All she did was grimace. Using her free hand, she gripped my hand tightly and dug her nails once again. Immense pain forced me to let go, and then using that tiny opening, she pinned my hands to the floor.
It was you, wasn't it? It was you.
Yua's glasses slipped down on her nose during the fight. Tears were welling up behind them, likely from the pain of me pulling her hair. Just like that day at Shoto Park, she was staring right through me with those cold, sharp eyes. You... killed... How was she talking about? Was the same bullshit as always calling me the new Gen Killer? I haven't killed anyone. You came here to kill me, you dumb bitch. I tried to glare back at Yua, but hers was just too terrifying to confront. Nothing good could come from making eye contact with dangerous people. I soon came to realize how true that was, how unhinged a look could really be. I looked away, wishing from the depths of my soul that I'd wake up from this nightmare, but...
Don't you dare look away.
Yua brought her face in even closer. I could feel her ragged breath on my cheek.
Look at me.
With how close she was, it was practically impossible to look anywhere else. Her breath was incredibly hot. I wanted to headbutt her, but Yua was pressing down so hard I couldn't even lift my head off the floor.
It's alright. I'll tell you. I'll tell you all about the other you that even you aren't aware of. There's another you inside you.
The ID. Multiple personalities, in other words. But when we were at Ave Cafe, you had said the same thing, but that was just some stupid fucking delusion of hers. She didn't know shit, and she sure as hell didn't know me better than I did.
Nishijo-kun, do you still not know? Are you really not aware of it? Are you thinking I'll let you go if you pretend not to know? I've warned you countless times, so why won't you listen? There's another you inside you, Shogun as you call it, and that you is doing unspeakable, unforgivable things. And I can't let it go on any longer. I won't let even one more person be killed. You must go to the hospital and get help and meet me. And if you refuse, I'll hand you over to police. If you leave Shogun to his own devices, then all of his crimes will be on you, Nishijo-kun. You'll be complicit in the murders. You need to understand that.
I don't need to understand shit.
You understand, don't you?
I didn't fucking kill anyone.
If you don't understand, then we have a problem.
I don't have multiple personalities.
You have no choice but to understand.
That's the kind of shit you only see in anime and manga and shit. This is real life. I don't have DID, goddammit.
Come out. I want to speak with you. You can hear me, can't you, Shogun?
I'm not Shogun. You got the wrong guy. Shogun is someone else. I've even met him, for fuck's sake. He uses a wheelchair. He appears out in the air like some kind of ghost. He's always wearing my mind like some kind of sick fucking pervert. And despite having the voice of a kid, he's covered in wrinkles like an old man. He's my enemy. Don't let me in with him. Just the thought makes me want to puke. Wait, wasn't you supposed to be Shogun's underling? I could have sworn she was working for him. But really, it seemed like she gently had me and Shogun mixed up.
Relax, Nishijo-kun. I just want you to go to sleep for a little while. Let Shogun take control of your body.
Even if I do go to sleep, that won't fucking happen. I don't have multiple personalities, you stupid fucking bitch. I tried my hardest to say all that to her, but since her hand was still pressed firmly against my mouth, the best I could do was make a bunch of muffled groans.
Come out. Come out, Shogun. Come out now. Won't you come out? I know you can come out. I want you to come out. Don't you want to come out, don't you? Come out now, murderer.
Tears began to fall from my eyes. I lost all will to resist. All remaining strength left my body. I was so tired. Why? Why did I have to deal with this psycho? Why did I have to listen to all this bullshit she spewed at me? What had I done to deserve this? This was just too much. All because this delusional stalker had come to the wrong conclusion, and now no one would save me. Was I going to die? By her hands? Even if I didn't, even if I made it through today, there'd be no guarantee I'd survive tomorrow. Shogun could still show up at any time. Do I have to live the rest of my life in fear? Please, I didn't want that. I didn't want to live like that. I'd rather go insane and get locked up in some mental facility somewhere. I'd rather die right here, right now.
Why are you crying?
Yua slowly began to remove her hand from my mouth, and then she started lifting herself off me. As soon as her weight was completely off, I felt instant relief.
Has Shogun come out yet?
I shook my head lifelessly. I can't do it anymore. Just kill me.
I won't kill you. I won't let you get killed either. You will atone for your crimes, and you will reveal the truth. I won't let you escape, not even through death. I won't allow it. I won't allow that to happen.
Shogun is somebody else. He's a new-gen culprit.
You are Shogun. It's you. It can't be anyone else but you.
My words had gone in one ear and out the other. She refused to listen to me. She was completely convinced she knew the truth. There was no point resisting.
Come out, Shogun. Come out now. Didn't I tell you to come out? Why aren't you coming out? I know you're in there. I will make you come out, Shogun. And I will never let you go until I do. I will never give up. Never.
Suddenly, Yua stood up and went to close the open container door. She slowly picked the padlock up off the floor and used it to lock the door shut. Then she stashed the key in the pocket of her uniform. What was she doing? Why was she doing this? What was she thinking?
I will never let you go.
One faint murmur, spoken to no one but herself. One that chilled me to the bone. Oh no. Of the countless fast food restaurants located throughout Shibuya, every single one was always packed front to back with young people. It took a lot of courage for a lone, middle-aged man to come to a place like this. After all, he would be sure to stick out like a sore thumb. Those were the thoughts circulating in Ban Yasuji's mind as he sipped his coffee, surrounded on all sides by young people chattering away. The drink in his paper cup was already starting to go cold. A single clear file folder sat on the table in front of him. Inside of it was a handful of photocopied documents from the investigation files, many of which were adorned with Ban's countless sticky notes. Ban had arrived at the restaurant about an hour ago, the location where he planned to personally re-examine the file's contents. As for why he had chosen to go to such a busy place like this, he had been removed from the new Gen investigation team a few days prior, but he still wished to independently run background checks on all relevant persons. The copy of the report that Ban was sifting through, which was never intended to leave the police station, had a few images attached to it. One photograph depicted one of the victims of the first new Gen incident, the group dive, a girl named Kusunoki Miya. Ban's interest had been piqued the previous day when he had met Miya's older sister, Kusunoki Yua. After hearing Yua describe Miya's personality, he decided to investigate further. At first, he was looking into rumors from around Shibuya, such as the high school girl with the sword. In the end, every lead turned up cold. That is, except for Miya. And after reading through the documents again and again, he still felt like something was off. There was a lot of information which seemed trivial at best, or at the very least not directly related to the case. But after putting pieces together, something felt out of place. And when Ban had heard Yua's story yesterday, that feeling had crept up on him all the more. After all, there was something in the file that Ban could not ignore. A pair of glasses was found among the possessions of Kusunoki Miya, one of the group dive participants. Oh shit. That was a detail that rubbed Ban the wrong way. He took a look at the list of notes taken from the various interviews conducted during the investigation. Taking another sip of coffee, Ban let out a befuddled grunt. From her birth, all the way until her death, there was not a single photograph of Kusunoki Miya wearing glasses. It was her sister, Kusunoki Yua, that wore them. He had even gone so far as to obtain access to Kusunoki Miya's medical records. Sure enough, she had boasted perfect 20/20 vision and thus had no need for glasses. We saw a brief example of this in during the first ending, but it seems flat out confirmed here. It's not Yua. It's Miya that we've been talking to this whole time, isn't it? If anyone has multiple personality disorder, it's not Takumi. It's Yua. Or rather, Miya. Kusunoki Miya had been a quiet girl with an interest in anime, quite the contrast from her happy-go-lucky sister. That all matched up with the description Kusunoki Yua had given. While the 5 victims of the group dive were friends, some reports suggested that their encounter on the rooftop was the first time they had ever met. Allegedly, they were online friends who had gotten together for an offline meet. Naturally, their online activity was heavily scrutinized as part of the investigation, but there were never any signs of suicidal tendencies displayed by the victims. Furthermore, several hours before the group dive, 2 high school girls, who appeared to be twins, had been spotted walking into a fast food restaurant in Shibuya. Ban took a look around. He was sitting in the very same fast food restaurant mentioned in the report. Before sitting down, Ban had also taken the time to speak with one of the restaurant's employees. The employee had told him about the two girls had chatted for a while, then proceeded to take a 10-minute bathroom break. I wonder what could have taken them so long in there, Ban wondered. He stared intently at the women's restroom, which caught him the scornful glare of every young girl nearby. Realizing this, Ban flashed a wry smile before returning his gaze back toward the streets outside the window. "18 excruciating hours had passed since you had raided my container. My hands had been tied behind my back and around the leg of my loft bed. Fortunately, I've been tied sitting down, so it wasn't too exhausting. Unfortunately, the rope coiled around my wrist was constantly digging into him, which was fairly painful. I somehow managed to doze off for around 3 hours during that time, but it didn't do me any good. I was still very sleepy, likely due to the fact that no one could get any half-decent sleep like this. Damn it, I wasn't into this S&M shit at all. If only I could hit decline on this RP invite. You was still sitting on the sofa watching me. She had been doing so all night. She really had been putting her all into it, too. She did nothing else the entire time. Did she ever sleep? You're not Yua. What was she even trying to accomplish here to begin with? Yua was convinced that I had DID, but I knew that wasn't true. She could wait like that all she wants, but Shogun would never come out. She hadn't gagged me, and actually allowed me to speak right after she tied me down. Of course, I'd taken full advantage of that to voice the above thoughts over and over again, but they just went in one ear and out the other. After a few hours of trying to change her mind, I realized how obstinate she really was, so I just gave up. And after that...
You create Shogun. You are Shogun. He is simply a mechanism for you to escape reality. Shogun is none other than you, yourself. But at the same time, he has his own separate existence. Another you that exists within you. The embodiment of your dark side. Existence crafted to protect your fragile mind. Your madness. You are a murderer that takes pleasure in every kill. One who doesn't care about the who. One who doesn't care about the how. One who exists just to kill. And it doesn't matter who you kill, does it? Does it? Why did you choose Mia? Answer me. Answer me now. Please answer me. I want you to answer. You need to answer, or else. Yua kept mumbling her pathological ramblings over and over and over again, never coming up for air. My room was extremely small, and my only means of covering my ears, my hands were tied up, so I had no choice but to listen. I thought I was going insane. On top of that, I felt as if I'd only gotten to experience the tip of the iceberg. I started trying to think of a way to escape. I tried pulling the toilet card to weigh my chances of getting out of here, but it didn't work. She did untie my hands and allow me to go, but she followed me very closely. She stood right beside me the entire time, never taking her eyes off me, even when okay. To make matters worse, she even continued spouting these insane ramblings of hers from behind my back. How long was this shit gonna go on for? Couldn't even get some actual sleep, because who knows when this bitch was gonna snap and kill me out of nowhere. Then again, even if I was awake, I wasn't confident I'd be able to defend myself anyway. What triggers it? What does it take to make you come out? Physical pain? Psychological pain? Sexual urges? Invoking trauma? Or is it simply by chance? Yua's murmurs suddenly came to a stop. But even then, she was still glaring at me. The room had become dead silent, and yet given the circumstances, the stillness only served to make me even more tense. Suddenly, the sound of a stomach growling broke the silence. I hadn't had anything to eat or drink, so I was obviously hungry. But that still hadn't been me just now. Which meant that Yua was hungry too. Moreover, I was sure I'd heard a stomach growling, but Yua's lack of reaction almost made me reconsider. Normal girls, Sayerton, for example, would have had a wake reaction. Yeah, nope. Ain't my fault. You know why? You got
Stop. I don't want to deal with this. You're so cute and you get mad, Blush. The situation I was in really was making me want to escape into my delusions.
Don't you want to eat?
Yua's tone was as cold as ice. As I was still sitting, she lowered her gaze down to my feet. A plate had been placed in front of them. It was a plate full of pasta, Tarraco spaghetti to be precise, served with a finely cut seaweed garnish. However, it had been sitting there for around 2 hours, so the pasta was probably all dry and sticky by now. Yua had made it for me. She tied me up and left without saying a word, then came back about 30 minutes later with a heaping of heaping plate of pasta. It seems she'd gone to the supermarket, bought the ingredients, and then cooked them into a pasta for me outside the container house. What was she planning by making me a home-cooked meal? I couldn't wrap my head around it. She could have just bought something that was ready-made at the convenience store. Maybe she poisoned it. The thought made me want to stay as far away from it as possible. Besides, it wasn't like I could eat it even if I wanted to. My hands were tied, and the plate was at my feet. You can have it. Remembering that Yua's stomach had growled, I gave that sarcastic retort.
I don't plan on torturing you physically. I'm simply waiting for Shogun to come out. So please eat. It'll be problematic if you don't. Eat.
Do you really think I can eat in a situation like this? Don't be ridiculous. Yua stood up, walked up to me, and then she crouched down next to me. I looked away in fear, still holding on to the hope that she untie the rope coiled around my hands. But of course, that wasn't what happened. Instead, Yua picked up the plate, struggled to twirl the dry-as-hell sticky pasta with a fork, and then, once she finally managed to, she held it out to my mouth. Here. No, I'm not eating that shit. Okay, open wide, say and its variants were events you could only experience in a roge. This is real life. When things were this tense, all her feeding me did was highlight her murderous intent all the more. At least in time if you're gonna do shit like this. At least if I was untied, I could pretend to eat some and go, yep, this tastes like shit, take it away, okay, thanks. But here I wasn't even afforded that.
Shall I warm it up in the microwave?
I just said I'm not gonna eat it. How about knocking the plate out of her hand with my knee? I thought about knocking the plate out of her hand with my knee. But if I did that, she'd definitely get pissed, and there was no telling what she'd do next. The thought sent chills down my spine, so in the end, I decided to hold back the urge. Please understand, Nishijo-kun. I'm doing this not just to protect everyone else, but to save you too. I never ever want to hurt you. The fuck you talking about, Yua? Are you stupid? Wanna die? What the hell did she think she was? She wanted to save me? Sure, it was true that new gen Shogun and all that stuff scared the living shit out of me, and that I desperately wanted someone to save me. But that someone was clearly excluding Yua. I never asked it to be subjected to this crazy bitch's delusions.
Eat.
Eat, even if you have to force yourself. There was cold pasta twirled around the fork. Yua shoved it toward my mouth. You can eat, can't you? Yua moved even closer, still glaring at me to no end. Eat, please. Eat. Suddenly, Yua stopped dead in her tracks. Why did this bitch come closer and closer every time she got mad? I kept looking away and clamped my mouth shut. She must have been insane if she thought I'd ever eat something she made. I'd end up with fucking food poisoning. An hour or so had passed. My stomach was still growling. I was so scared that I wanted to scream, but I couldn't. Eat. Eat now. Didn't I tell you to eat? Eat. You was still crouching down next to me, staring at me. And she was still trying to shove the pasta down my throat, too. She had stayed there the entire time in the exact same position. Eat. Please eat. You need to eat. Eat. I want you to eat. Eat. Eat it. Eat. It's safe to eat. Eat it up. Eat. She just kept on making her demands in a series of low murmurs, refusing to do anything else. I had a feeling that another hour had passed already. I was so creeped out I couldn't even lift a finger. I was petrified. I was a deer perpetually stuck in the headlights. She hadn't hurt me or anything. She hadn't forced me to eat the pasta either. And yet somehow I felt more and more afraid of Yua with each passing moment. She's simply waiting for me to eat and nothing else. And yet I was still scared shitless. A normal person would have given up after about 5 minutes, but not Yua. No, Yua had kept it up for over an hour. If this were a normal version of this kind of thing, Yua would pull my hair, force my mouth open, and scream at me to eat, you scum. But she didn't. so I didn't have the slightest clue what the hell she was thinking. She was a total freak. She was broken. No sane human could do what she was doing. She wasn't human. She couldn't be. I'm scared. 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 I was at rock bottom. I wanted to kneel down and beg for her forgiveness. My entire body was covered in a thick, disgusting sweat. I was enduring so much anguish mentally that I could hardly breathe. I didn't know what to do. I never had a girl stare at me for this close for this long before, but who the hell has? If we were a couple having some lovey-dovey conversation while we rubbed our nose or some shit, that'd be fine, but no. Oh, no. You just kept on repeating the same shit over and over again like a broken goddamn record. But this broken record never fucking stopped glaring at me. How is this even real? Eat. Eat it. Eat now. Eat, please. Eat. I couldn't deal with her gaze on me any longer, so I dared to squeeze out a single word. My voice had gone hoarse. Yosmura stopped. She remained completely still, in the same posture as before. I forced my mouth open. I nervously ate the pasta she'd been trying to feed me for over an hour. My mouth was already dry to begin with, and eating this withered pasta definitely didn't help. It just sucked away any remaining moisture I had left. Couldn't bear the taste, so I almost didn't chew at all as I choked the pasta down. You had blinked a few times, surprised to see me actually eating. And like a statue come to life, she started moving again.
Does it taste good?
No, it doesn't taste good at all, I thought to myself, but there was no way I could say it to her face, so I just gave a weak nod instead.
I'm glad to hear it.
Despite what she said, Yua still had the most deadpan expression on her face. I couldn't detect even the slightest bit of happiness. She moved the fork back toward the plate she was holding, and with it she picked up another clump of the dry, sticky pasta and held it out to my mouth again. Did I really have to eat it all? Would she not let me go otherwise? Give me a break already. Tears started flowing from my eyes. I couldn't hold them anymore. I was just too scared. And no matter how hard I cried, Yua didn't seem to care. She would just keep doing this until I finished the entire plate. So I ate, tears endlessly streaming down my face, and she kept on feeding me that dry, shitty pasta. By the time I'd finished all of it, I was both physically and mentally exhausted.
Are you full now? You're full, aren't you? You should be full now. Good, then the time I spent making this for you was worth it.
Contrary to what she said, Yua's tone was cold as ice. Then at last, she took a small step away from me, placed the plate on my desk, and sat back down on the sofa. After sitting down, she looked in my direction and went right back to staring at me. And as she stared, she stopped moving. Don't look at me, damn it. Please, stop looking at me. I did nothing but chant those words over and over inside my head. But I couldn't say them out loud. I was too scared. Was she really going to mar me for an entire day? It was straight up psychological torture. Just the mere thought of it made me even more depressed. Why are you doing this? I was crying now, but I couldn't help but ask that. I need to know. What did I do to you?
My younger sister died.
Huh? Younger sister? For a split second, Yua looked like she was about to cry, only to quickly reassume her ice-cold expression.
She was one of the group dive victims. We were twins, and she was the younger one. Her name was Mia. I'll never let the murderer who killed my sister get away with it. That's the promise I made to myself. And then I found you. I learned about your suffering. I want to find out why my sister was killed. I want to know the truth. I want to know why the culprit, why Shogun killed her. And I also want to say to you, please understand. You understand, right? You should understand. I'm sure you understand.
I thought back to the video of the group dive that had been uploaded to YouTube. Had one of the crime victims in that video been Yua's younger sister? I knew full well that Yua was going through. The same kind of thing had happened recently with Anami, after all. But that didn't mean I could forgive what she was doing right now. This crazy bitch had broken in my house, tied me up, and was now holding me captive. Yeah, no way in hell I could ever feel sympathy for her after all that shit. I completely lost track of time.
My room had no windows, after all. I had no way to tell what time it was. What does whose eyes are those eyes mean? Why did you have the people you were about to kill say that? Why was it left as a dying message? What were you trying to convey? Usually I just check the time on my phone or my PC. Not that there were any ways to do so. But since I was still tied to the leg of my bed, I obviously couldn't use either method. The only chance I got to check the time was whenever I went to the bathroom, but even then it was a pretty small window. But the longer this torture lasted, the harder it got for me to get up and use the bathroom. I simply didn't feel the urge to piss, slightly because I wasn't drinking enough water. It felt as if I've been deprived of all physiological phenomena for over a day now. Why Darth Spider? What were you trying to accomplish by wearing that character's helmet? Does it bear some kind of religious significance? Do you aspire to be an anti-hero? Or do you just want to make a mockery of public opinion? Yua didn't move an inch. She simply continued sitting on the sofa, standing up every once in a while, only to sit back down right after. And her muttering hadn't stopped the entire time. How is she still talking after this long? It wasn't like it killed time on my PC, nor could I make calls or send any messages. I couldn't even sleep. All I could do was sit there and be assaulted endlessly with questions. Yua's mumbling was starting to sound like a mantra or something at this point. I couldn't stand being watched for this long. Sure, I had to cope with shogunry in my mind and the sensation of being observed by the gaze, but while those things did stop, at least I could still stomach them. I need a drink of water. Hang on.
Ah, much better.
But I wish I could say the same about Yua's unending watch. Her gaze was so utterly devoid of any emotion or warmth that it genuinely felt as if I wasn't even there. Like my very existence itself was constantly being ignored, if not outright denied by her. Regardless, the point is that I knew nothing about what was going on in the outside world. And I couldn't, as long as I was tied up. I had lost all perception of time. I didn't know how many days had passed since I'd been tied up. I had a feeling that 2 days or so had gone by, but it sure as hell felt more like a month. Being deprived of my freedom of movement was really stressful. Every minute of however many hours had passed, I would think to myself, I need to look at a clock. That was the sole thing on my mind. Or perhaps... Yua's head suddenly tilted. She took off her glasses and rubbed the eyelids that occulted her bleary eyes. She was only human, I'd imagine. So she was finally starting to get tired. She hadn't caught a wink of sleep the entire time, after all. Maybe she should have thought this through before doing it. She was just wasting her time. Nothing would come of any of this. This never would have happened if she'd just listened to me. When are you going to come out? Her whispers were practically delirious. Come out. She must have still been talking about Shogun. How can I get you to come out? Won't you come out? Unfortunately for you, he won't come out no matter how much you plead. Because he's not there to begin with. I will keep waiting. I will... wait. When silence took over the room once more, Yua's body slowly tilted over. With all her strength gone, she fell to her side on the sofa. Had she fallen asleep? Had her batteries finally run out? I breathed a sigh of relief, and all the tension in my body released along with it. I hadn't had even a single moment to relax the entire time she'd been staring at me. And now that she wasn't, I could finally take it easy for a bit. Aren't you using your noggin here? Serotonin's voice rang out from beside my monitor. Isn't this your chance to skedaddle? Maybe you can turn tails here and tie her up instead. She's completely defenseless. And then you do whatever you want there with her, you big dum-dum. Oh, I see. So I can degrade her and train her into becoming the... Okay. Took a nervous glance at her face. To be honest, if I ignored everything else, her sleeping face was actually pretty cute. It reminded me of when we first met. That gentle smile she'd had. I obviously didn't know what Yua had really been thinking back then, nor that she'd seen me as a murderer. If anything, I saw her as an enemy, as one of Shogun's underlings. But it was her fault for making me think that. She was the one who deceived me, who betrayed me. So if I wanted to degrade her,
She had no right to complain. I peeked at Yua's sleeping face once more. Her eyelids twitched erratically, and her face contorted into a pained expression. Then, from the corner of her eye, a single tear ran down her cheek. Could she be having a nightmare about her dead sister?
Taki, aren't you gonna make her you...
No! After seeing her shed a tear like that, I'd already lost the drive.
Even after all, she had you all licked up and bondaged up. Oh, Taki, you're so noble, so kind, heck, too kind. That's one of the things I love about you, but maybe you should think about doing it away with all that just as once, considering how perfect the opportunity is.
That's not what I meant. Of course I wasn't going to forgive you that easily. I just didn't have the strength to be angry with her, nor to even resist at all. It was all gone. Completely sapped. Was it because of the huge release in tension? Or could it have been because she told me about her little sister? I didn't really feel like Yua wanted to hurt me or anything, weird as that might sound. Suddenly I was struck with an intense drowsiness, and so I surrendered my body to the feeling, allowing myself to forget, if only for a moment, the pain my bound wrists were being tortured by. I'll think of a way out of this later. As soon as I woke up, I knew something was off. Like something was missing. Still half asleep, I looked around the room. I tried to stand up. Wait a minute, hang on. Sorry about that, I was tired in some way. Tried to stand up, but the rope coiled around my wrist dug in deep, and the sheer pain stopped me in my tracks. The pain immediately reminded me that I was tied up, and the one who had done so was Yua. Oh, Yua wasn't here. So that's what felt off. I was the only one in the room. Where had she gone? Had she gone to make food? Or use the bathroom? I didn't know how many days it had been since Yua locked me in here, but what I did know is that neither of us had been to school the entire time. We only went outside to use the bathroom or cook something. I wasn't even allowed to take a shower. I let out a heavy sigh. Yua should come back any minute now, and when she did, she'd start watching me all over again. Had Yua always been this stubborn? Or was it the hatred and regret she felt from her sister's death that made her start acting this way? Regardless, how can I make her understand that I wasn't Shogun? Maybe I could show her the messages Shogun had sent me, if they were still on my PC anyway. But let's be honest, we were long past that. Yua was fully devoted to the delusional bullshit she'd come up with. I doubt she'd believe me even if I did show them to her. I need something more concrete. Something to convince her that Shogun and I were two completely different people. If only he would just show up here, then there'd be no denying it. It kinda sucked for me if that happened, though. I didn't want him anywhere near me. Besides, if he came to my base, it'd probably be to kill me.
Come on, Taki, yeah, I tell it out here. Can't stand watching this judgmental, violent soccer girl bully you like this.
Thank you, Sarah. But I can't run. I can't untie myself on my own. I'd obviously already made my fair share of attempts to escape, but my struggle had proved futile. Yua's nuts were tight, and no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't even get them to budge.
If only I was 3D girl, then I could just come on down and rescue you right away, Taki.
Oh no. As great as escaping sounds on paper, Sarah, I think just doing whatever she says like I've been doing is the far safer option. If I tried to escape and failed, I would make Yua go berserk. Whenever Yua lost her temper, it was crazy how scary she got. So I was going to do everything I could not to provoke her.
Wow, you're really taking your time to think of the best way to keep your head on your shoulders, aren't you, Taki? You're so amazing. You know, I don't really want you to stay in the same room much longer.
As much as I hate to admit it, as long as I was tied up, I was entirely dependent on Yua to survive. Luckily, she hadn't been violent with me at all yet. She even cooked for me and let me use the bathroom whenever I asked. She was still treating me like a human being. And I was sure that once she finally understood that no matter how long she waited, Shogun wouldn't come out, she'd let me go. Hell, even better, I was sure she'd beg me for forgiveness. Of course, I'd make her get down on her knees, or hands and knees, or else what'd be the point? Somewhere, no. Then it'd all be forgiven.
You would go back to her own life, and I'd go on with mine. She'd never see me again, and I'd never see her again. So at the very least, the Yua threat would disappear completely. Or if I was very lucky, there's even a chance she would have a change of heart and end up joining my party. Shogun was still real and very much a problem, so Yua could step up and replace Rimi as my protector. It'd be better than nothing. We even had some common ground. Above all else, Yua resented the new gen culprit and therefore Shogun. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Yua's interests and mine coincided. I'm so smart. I'm kind of a genius, VA.
Bye-bye, genius.
So I decided to write this story about. Okay, where the hell was she? You still hadn't shown any signs of coming back. It'd been a good while since she left, too. I knew for a fact that at least a few hours had passed, probably. Where in the world's she gone? Sure as hell wasn't the toilet. I could also rule that she'd been grabbing dinner, since there's no way it would have taken this long. Every time she'd gone out to buy us food, she just went to the nearest supermarket and came back shortly after. So where was she? Has she gone to school? I didn't even know what time it was right now, but if it was around noon, then it was certainly possible. If I could have just looked at the minimum attendance chart, then I would have been able to know what day it was instantly. It would have told me a lot, really. For example, if you had kept me locked up for 3 days straight and the first day had been Friday, that explained why she'd been able to stay here and not go to school. Because it'd been a weekend. In other words, today was Monday and Yua had gone to school. It had to be. It had to. What day had it been when Yua had broken in my room again? My consciousness was already foggy as hell, so I couldn't remember clearly. But what if she hadn't gone to school? What if she'd gone back home, for example? These days, okay. Even if she'd gotten permission, staying over at my place for who knows how many nights would have definitely made her parents worry. So knowing that, she'd have gone back home in order to pacify them. Probably. That made a lot of sense, actually. Well, regardless of where she'd gone off to, she had to come back eventually. So it'd be in my best interest to stay put and conserve my energy. Letting out a small sigh, I closed my eyes. Might as well get some sleep. I couldn't sleep. I closed my eyes and tried my hardest to doze off for hours on end, but I just couldn't manage to. I ended up staring at the door, torturing myself over whether or not Yua would come back. There was a bit of a windstorm going on outside, so the door rattled faintly every now and then. Whenever it did, I would immediately open my eyes, thinking that Yua had come back. But no matter how many times I thought that, she still hadn't. I was left all alone in this container, tied up like an animal. Since she was taking her sweet time, I decided I might as well try to break out of the restraints on my wrists. The rope that bound me to the leg of the bed was made of nylon, which is why I thought that maybe with enough force I could break it. And so I poured all my strength into my arms. But it was no use. The rope didn't even budge. Or maybe I was just too weak. After all, I was a pretty big weakling in general, a otaku freak that did nothing but play video and surf the web all day long. There's no way I could have broken that cord like some kind of movie protagonist. Tearing the cord with just arm strength alone was obviously impossible, so I tried to think of some other way. Obviously, it would have been really suck if it would be really easy if I had a knife or something like that, but I unfortunately had no such luck. The only things I could see around me were magazines, mangas, CDs, empty box lunches, that kind of stuff. It's no use. It was hopeless. I couldn't even snap a single piece of nylon string on my own. You was coming back, right? I unintentionally voiced those thoughts out loud, meaning I was basically talking to myself.
Hitaki? I've been thinking, what if she abandoned ya?
Abandoned me? As in Yua left me here to rot? As in she wasn't planning on coming back? If that was all true, I was screwed. Surely she hadn't just tied me up and expect me to survive my own, right? If you're going to lock someone up, then you realize you're responsible for them until you let them go. Come on, that was just common sense. No, she couldn't have abandoned me.
I was overthinking it. He was definitely going to come back. She still hadn't uncovered Shogun's true identity, so she wouldn't give up yet. Yua would never abandon me. This is fine.
Itagi, you know, this kind of thing's called Stockholm Syndrome.
Yes, I obviously know what Stockholm Syndrome is. But you're wrong. This isn't like that. My brain isn't dependent on you or anything. As if I'd ever warm up to that mental case, let alone fall for her.
Okay, but didn't you think just a few minutes ago I know that you must be coming? Something similar happened with Nami after all? Come on, Taki, you know you can't hide your illusions from me.
Was I lying to myself? Was I just forcing myself to believe that I could trust Yua? Maybe I was. Stockholm Syndrome was a psychological phenomenon in which people deceive their own selves for the sake of survival. But what else could I do in this situation? I had no other choice. I had to rely on Yua. Ring had backed out, and Nanami had come to check on me in a long time now. My parents let me know when they were worried about me via Nanami, but they never actually checked on me personally. And the only other person I knew who lived in this container was Yua, which meant the only person I could rely on was also Yua. Therefore, I had to lie to myself. It's the only way I could survive. I didn't want to die. I didn't want Yua to mistreat me, and I didn't have the courage to resist her using force. So that was why I decided to just admit it. I wouldn't resist, and then if I waited long enough, eventually she'd understand that that was the only way an otaku freak like me would be able to survive. I would trust in Yua. I would trust in her by lying to myself. And then I'd make it out of this without anyone getting hurt.
Come on, Taki, you and I both know you can't trust a bored soccer girl. I know you're a real nice guy and all, but this is taking it a step too far.
For the first time in my life, I completely ignored what Seroton had to say. So please, come back soon, Yua. You're coming back, right? And then it happened. Without warning, a door burst open. It caught me completely by surprise, and I immediately froze. I could finally see outside. The sky was dyed orange by the setting sun, and there, obstructing my view of it, was Yua. I was relieved from the bottom of my heart to see her there. Realizing that I hadn't been abandoned nearly made me cry tears of joy. I was a little disgusted with how easily I'd been tamed, but my disgust was immediately overshadowed by the intense feeling of relief. Welcome back. I had no one else, so I was forced to be dependent on her. That was why something so fucking stupid had somehow come out of my mouth. But... You're a hindrance, Nishijo-kun. Huh? Yua quickly walked over to me, crouched to meet me at eye level, and then... She grabbed my hair and yanked on it. Hard. A hindrance. If only you didn't exist, then Shogun would come out. Why do you exist? Have some self-respect. Let him take the reins for a while. There's no point in talking to you. You aren't the one I want to talk to. Bring him out. Bring out Shogun now. He was acting weird. Was she getting impatient because Shogun wouldn't come out? Does this mean she was going to resort to more drastic measures? This wasn't what I planned. I believed in her. I trusted that she wouldn't go berserk on me. Was she about to betray me again? Who am I kidding? I'm the only one who feels betrayed. I was forced to face reality. I decided to place my trust in you all on my own. She never asked me to. Not once. Had I just been naive? It was because I was an otaku freak, and a shonen too, wasn't it? I knew pretty much nothing about human interaction because of those things, so tricking me was like taking candy from a baby. If I was right about this, then I'd been right about everything. Nothing good could come from 3D. It's time for me to become a real shonen, but this time I'd lock myself in the 2D world. Look. Yura thrusted something in front of my face. It was a notebook of some kind.
This is my little sister's diary. I went home to get it. Once you read this, you'll finally understand. You'll understand that even since before the group dive took place, Shogun was already targeting Mia-chan.
Ever since before?
She was being stalked. The goal of the group dive wasn't to kill the 5 of them. The other 4 were simply collateral. The real target was Mia-chan, and Mia-chan alone. Isn't that right? I'm right, aren't I, Shogun? Answer me. Come out and answer me now.
Yua's voice was getting more and more hysterical. My fear of her had come back full force. My heart was beating out of my chest. My entire body trembled. But even so, I still couldn't accept what Yua was accusing me of. It was just a bunch of delusions she'd come up with, nothing but pure falsehood. I never even met Yua's sister. I desperately shook my head from side to side, but she grabbed my hair so tight the pain kept me from moving very much.
You still don't intend to come out?
Yua's face drew even closer, close enough to whisper in my ear. Then she brought the diary even closer to my face.
Look. Look at the pain you put Mia-chan through.
She forced me to look. Then while still holding the diary with one hand, Yua started dexterously turning the pages. And what I saw written there sent a chill down my spine. Who? What is this? What the hell is this?
This is the last page of her diary. The last thing Mia ever wrote. Whose eyes are those eyes? The date. September 6th. The very day before Mia died and the group died.
Shogun! He can read people's minds and control them!
What do you mean you can read people's minds and control them? Surely you don't actually expect me to believe that. Surely not. She was being stalked. By Shogun. By you.
I'm not Shogun, I swear!
Shogun exists inside you.
I just told you it's not true. Shogun is someone else!
Shogun is Nishijo Takumi. Enough excuses. I have proof that you were the first one to write whose eyes are those eyes. It was in an essay you wrote when you were younger. There's more than enough circumstantial evidence. You're the only one it can be. The only one. It wouldn't make sense otherwise. You killed my sister.
It's not true. That's not true at all. I don't sleepwalk and I don't have multiple personalities either. Shogun does exist, but he isn't me. He's someone else, I swear.
What comes to mind? What comes to mind when you look at this diary? Satisfaction from pushing my sister to the brink? From killing her? Satisfaction from pushing my sister so close to the brink you made her write this. Why did you do such horrible things to her? Why did you kill Mia? Why?
You're wrong, Yua. Everything you say is wrong.
No, you're wrong. You committed murder. You killed her. Murder.
But this diary isn't yours, Yua. Isn't it yours, Yua?
What?
Yua looked puzzled. It stuck out to me like a sore thumb ever since I'd first seen it. It was written on the front cover. What? Ah! I didn't even notice that! Yua's diary. At first I thought I was just mistaken or something, but Yua had said exactly whose diary she thought it was.
This is my little sister's diary.
But if it was her sister's diary, shouldn't it have said Mia's diary? That's Yua's diary. It's written there on the front.
What are you talking about?
Yua deliberately avoided looking at the front cover.
This is Mia-chan's. The diary of my dead sister, Mia-chan. Mia-chan, who you killed. It's Mia-chan's. Mia-chan wrote it. Before she died, she wrote it herself.
I'm telling you, look at the front cover. Terrified, I nervously pointed out the notebook. Without showing a hint of hesitation, Yua closed it and took a look at the cover. And when she did, she turned back toward me and said,
Just like I thought, it's Mia-chan's diary.
Huh? She must have seen it just now. There's no way she hadn't. Yua's diary was right there, written in bright red marker. So how'd she...
This is the diary Mia-chan always wrote in. Were you trying to deceive me? You can never ever deceive me. I spent every waking moment alongside Mia-chan. We've been together ever since we were born. I know Mia-chan better than you ever will. I know her.
Can you not see it, Yua? It's written right there. It says Yua's diary. Yua's hands suddenly shot up to her temples. Her face was warped in pain.
You're wrong. This diary isn't mine. It's Mia-chan.
I'm...
After all, you have no way of knowing Nishijo-kun. You have DID, multiple personalities.
Who are you?
I'm Yua. I'm...
Could be that I'd never been the one with DID. It'd been Yua all along? Does Kusunoki Mia actually exist? Had the police ever officially announced the identities of the group dive victims? Since she was a minor, they would have just called her Girl A or something, right? Or did you really have a twin sister, Yua? Well, it was certainly possible that someone named Kusunoki Mia had existed and died in the group dive. It's also possible they were completely unrelated to Kusunoki Yua, the person standing right in front of me. Could have been simply someone with an extremely similar name.
She exists.
Suddenly Yua wrapped her hands around my neck. Her fingers were oh so slender, and yet they harbored a terrifying amount of strength within them. I couldn't breathe.
She existed. Mia-chan existed. I know she did. I remember her clear as day.
Can you prove it? Yua's grasp weakened. Can you prove that you don't have TID? Can you prove that you aren't Kusunoki Mia? I, for one, couldn't prove that I wasn't my alter ego. After all, the only way to prove that I wasn't Shogun would have been for him to show up next to me.
I can prove it.
Yua took her hands off my neck. She let the notebook fall to the floor.
Mia-chan had a mole.
Yua slowly began to remove her uniform's top.
Just under her...
Okay, I'm gonna very quickly do this.
She had a mole there. And I don't.
She unbuttoned her blouse one button at a time, her hands trembling impatiently as she did. Yeah, But she didn't stop there. She went on to remove her bra too. Okay. I searched too with my eyes. And just under her left breast was a mole.
It's... there.
There's one there.
But... why? I shouldn't have a mole there. Who am I?
Yua's face grew pale as a ghost, and her lips trembled in fear. Her eyes swam in place, gazing into the abyss as she wrapped her arms around herself. She didn't even care that she was still half naked.
I am... Yua. I'm a good girl. I've always been a good girl. Mia-chan's always been the difficult one. I always wanted to be the good girl. Mia-chan loved Yua-chan. Yua-chan was worried about Mia-chan.
Her ramblings gradually turned to even more incoherent. I was pretty freaked out, but I knew I couldn't just abandon her and make a run for it. I knew full well exactly what mental state she was in, because I, until only a moment ago, had been the same exact one. From the moment you had told me I had DID, I'd been suffering from non-stop anxiety, instability. So I really did understand. I knew what it felt like to feel your entire existence was one step away from crumbling to dust. I didn't know if she was suffering from DID, if it was something else entirely. But what I did know is there was something wrong with her. There always had been. I knew people could be two-faced, but she was far too good at it. It was still hard to believe that she'd been acting when we first met. The difference between her back then and when she snapped was like night and day. So much so that it didn't feel like even the same person. Do you have TID, Yua?
No, she existed. I know she existed. I know Mia-chan existed.
Still covering her breast with one arm, Yua finished for something in the top she'd just taken off. She then took out her phone, hit a few buttons, and showed me.
See? She's right there. The two of us are right there.
What? She did exist. There were definitely two people on the screen there. And the image didn't look edited either. I'm gonna... The two looked eerily similar in that picture, though they were twins. The only difference was that the one had glasses and the other didn't. Even their hairstyles were the same. I'm gonna turn this back into this in case it changes back to the other image.
I am me. I'm right there.
Which one are you?
I'm...
She pointed to the one on the left. Uh-oh! Uh-oh! Right at that moment, the floor starts shaking violently. An earthquake. It's even bigger than the last one. No, it's a... Reality changing. Her delusion. I was struck with a violent ringing in my ears. Such an intensely shrill, resonant sound. My head felt like it was about to burst open. You grabbed her head and felt her knees. I wanted to do the same, but my hands were tied up, so I couldn't. It felt like my ears were being pierced by thousands upon thousands of needles. And then... white. Yep. Fade to white. I was hit with an enormous impact, and a blinding light dyed my vision completely white. Her delusions overtook reality, I think. She real-booted something.
The two of us switched places that day.
Okay. At the Shibuya McD, a large wave of students arrived as soon as evening hit. I could hear the high-pitched voices of high school girls joyfully chatting away with one another. I took a moment to look out the window, and then I took out my phone. It was now 5:02 p.m. on September 7th, 2 minutes past the time she was supposed to be here. I took a bite out of my chicken sandwich, feeling a little annoyed.
Sorry I'm late, Mia-chan. Didn't mean to have you wait on me.
Iwa-chan appeared, tray in hand, sat down in front of me. I let out a small sigh.
Well, he did. Come on, cut me some slack, Mia-chan. It was only like 5 minutes. Oh, you ordered a chicken sandwich, so did I.
She pointed to the chicken sandwich on her tray.
The two of us were twins, so it was only natural that we'd have the same preferences. She really didn't need to point out every little time that we had something in common, but she happily did so anyway. It's the first time we've ever met up in Shibuya, right, Mia-chan? I didn't go to school in Shibuya, and the two of us saw each other at home all the time, so we just didn't have many reasons or opportunities to meet up in Shibuya. That was all there was to it. So what do you want to ask me again? Just ask away. Anything's on the table. I took the last bite of my chicken sandwich, sipped some of my iced tea, and then I leaned toward Yua-chan. Okay, so truth is, I've actually got somewhere to be after this. Ooh, a date? No, nothing like that. I'm just meeting with some people I've never actually met in person before. Some? How many people are you planning to meet? Around 4, I think. How you know them? I met them online. But don't worry, not anything shady. We just started talking on this message board for anime fans and stuff. Oh wow, I very much never used the internet, so I don't really know how it works. Is making friends online that common? Kinda. Point is, it's my first time going to an offline meet. And to tell you the truth, I'm a little... You worried that you're gonna be too shy? No, that's not it. And I'm not shy. Just, I'm only thin for the most part, so I don't know if I'll miss him with the rest of them, I guess. If you say so. Either way, are you sure you're gonna be okay? Will you be comfortable talking to people you just met? I thought I was. I really want to try, but truth is, now that it's almost here, I'm... having second thoughts. It just seems really, really hard, but canceling at the last minute would be a really sucky thing to do, so... So you want me to go in your place?
I see. Oh, God. So that's the truth, huh?
Yua-chan's really perceptive. She understood what I was trying to say before I even finished my sentence. Usually that was more annoying than it was helpful, but this time I was glad that I didn't have to explain everything. Yeah, can you do that for me? I don't mind, but are you sure that's what you want? This is a great chance for you to make some friends. Hey, don't treat me like some grade schooler. I don't need to make friends, and I don't want to make friends. For goodness sakes, Mia-chan, you really are sore as can be. So, will you go? Yeah, I can. I just have to turn into you for a little while, right? Alright, world, say hello to new Kusunoki Mia. You don't have to go that far. But it's so much more fun that way. Oh, I know. Let's swap uniforms. Why are you so invested in this? It's not often you ask me for a favor, Mia-chan, so I'm in a really good mood. You're such a dork. Of course, for I, the dorkiest of all dorks, who happens to be your big sister. So come on, move your butt. Let's go change.
Oh. This is just depressing, knowing the truth now.
We went to the private bathroom, and after a couple minutes, we swapped all clothing and personal effects. Wow, Mia-chan, you really make the swimming uniform pop. Mom and Dad would totally have a hard time telling who's who. Oh no, I just realized if I wear my glasses, we'll be found out immediately. Here, I'll just take them off. Oh, wait, maybe that's not exactly the best idea. I can't see anything. It's not like they even know what I look like. I've never met them before, so really you don't have to go that far.
There's the one inconsistency.
You're still saying that? Listen, the meetup's starting real soon, so let's use the time we've got left to make this totally perfect. I don't know a thing about anime, though. What should I talk about? Just go with the flow. There are people you only meet once anyway. Sure, but it doesnn't have to be that way. This is a huge opportunity to meet people. You can meet some real lasting friends. Heck, maybe you could even get a boyfriend. Not interested. You totally are. You wouldn't have agreed to go otherwise. Shut up. I hate you. Alright, I'm gonna do everything in my power to make a good impression on everyone. Time to show the world how awesome Kusunoki Mia is. I really don't need to worry about that. If she did that, it'd be even harder for me to go the second time. I just wasn't as sociable as she was.
Oh, God.
On that note, time to get going. Thanks, Yua-chan. And seriously, you don't need to go crazy out there. An okay impression is good enough, okay? Yeah, I know. See you later, Mia-chan. Yua-chan smiled and waved goodbye, wearing my uniform, holding my bag, and then she disappeared into the crowds of Shibuya as none other than Kusunoki Mia.
And that was it.
That had been the last time I'd ever seen Yua-chan. I then had gone home, waiting for her to come back. Only to see that Kate's on the news.
Everything fell apart. You should have died. But you lived. When I came to, my headache was so bad it felt like I was splitting in two. The first thing I realized was that I was pinned under my bed. The second was that the bed had fallen on top of me. So not only was my head about to burst from the pain, but my back was too under the weight of the bed. The only thing I could move were my eyes, which allowed me to witness the sheer devastation of my room. Yua slumped against the wall, staring off in a daze. She'd been okay, but it seems she put her clothes back on. Honestly, before she'd been completely topless while also keeping her glass on, which honestly brought some life. Bro. Help me. Untie me. It took nearly everything in me, but I managed to fight through the headache and call it to Yua. And with the most empty eyes, she looked at me.
I remember.
Really, who cares? I don't give a shit about what you remember. Just untie me, alright? I can't move this thing.
I finally remember.
Yua slowly got up and easily untied the tight knot, almost too easily. In fact, considering how dark it was, and how she wasn't wearing glasses. Finally free, man, I managed to slip out from under the bed. But that was about as far as I went. My head felt like it was being cracked open, just like it had during the previous earthquakes. Even standing up felt impossible, so I endured the pain on all fours.
It was Yua-chan.
Yua was once again mumbling something in a low voice.
The one who died during the group dive wasn't Mia. It was Yua-chan.
Yua, what are you?
I'm not Yua.
A wry smile spread across Yua's lips.
I'm Mia. I had only convinced myself that I was Yua-chan. The two of us switched places that day, and then Yua-chan died. It's supposed to be me.
Suddenly the expression on Yua's face disappeared, complementing the empty eyes that had yet to leave her. And then she extended her hand toward me.
Nishijo-kun. I don't care about Shogun anymore. In the end, I was the one who killed Yua-chan. I let her die. Would you be willing to come with me?
To where?
To the place where Yua-chan died. I just want you to come with me. Please.
I don't know why exactly she was asking me this, but I had an idea. An idea that soon became a realization. Mia was planning to die. I had no idea whether or not I should stop her. It was probably too late for me to say anything that might reach her. And so I took Mia's hand and went to pull myself up. I felt stabbing pain in my head. I pictured my eyes being dyed scarlet red. The throbbing pulsation of the blood vessels inside my head reverberated throughout my entire body. It hurt too much to move. I didn't have the strength.
Can you walk?
Mia supported my body with her shoulder.
I want you to come with me. If you can't walk, then we have a problem. I think you can save me. Please.
It's all gone. The third melt. With my body supported by Mia, the two of us began walking in the direction of Shibuya. Shibuya had transformed into a city of death. Everywhere you looked, corpses were strewn across the ground. Some were covered in blood, some had their limbs severed, and some had their heads crushed. Not even a shred of human dignity could be seen in the absolute hellscape spread out before us. Not a single glimmer of the city's former glory remained. The only things it held now were death, ash, and despair. Nothing more. Huge cracks tore through the roads. Large scars indicative of how it could all come crashing down at any moment. Huge chunks of debris had fallen from the crumbling buildings, blocking our way. It was difficult to even walk in a straight line. But none of that was enough to make us lose focus of our goal. Mia and I marched on, completely disregarding the cries for help around us. Our destination was the building towering above in the distance. Cornelius Tower. The tower was still standing. The outer walls were crumbling in certain spots, but the structure itself had more or less tanked the earthquake. It still stood straight and tall. As far as we could tell from the outside, it seemed the lights were off on every floor. Maybe everyone had evacuated, leaving the building vacant and abandoned. Naturally, the lobby was completely empty. There didn't seem to be any electricity either, so the elevator didn't work. Our only option to get to the rooftop would be the emergency stairs. When the details behind the group dive case had appeared online, I had done a little digging into the building. Cornelius Tower stood at 184 meters tall, with 41 floors above ground. There was absolutely no way I could climb that many floors, not when I couldn't even walk straight with this headache. And yet Mia kept on supporting me. Leaning on her, we climbed the stairs step by step, sweat dripping down our foreheads.
I think Mom and Dad were just trying to protect me by calling me Yua-chan. Maybe that's why they started treating me like Yua. Why they considered Mia dead.
She was talking to herself. I listened along in silence. Well, she probably didn't need me to listen. She was just talking aloud and I just happened to be there.
It was always like that. I was the brat no one wanted and she was perfect. My parents always treated me like I was some kind of tumor to the family. So why did they decide that Mia died there? Well, probably because they would have preferred it that way. Though that's entirely my fault. It's my fault for convincing myself I was Yua-chan. Which is why I should die, just as Yua-chan did.
What kind of person was Yua?
She was someone I looked up to. I was jealous of her. Sometimes I even got mad about how much easier things were for her. But I never hated her. Far from it. I loved her. I loved my sister so much. She was the only one who understood me. The only person in the whole world. Her smile always made me so happy, no matter how hard things were for me. She was always worried about me. I always felt so guilty about it, and in the end, I started acting distant with her. But she didn't care. She was always so nice to me, no matter how I treated her. Yua-chan.
Mia kept on climbing the stairs, tears gently streaming down her face. Were these tears of regret? Of sorrow? Of guilt? That I couldn't tell. We're here. The wind was stronger than I thought it would be on the helipad. The panorama of Shibuya's nightscape spread out right before our eyes. But now, its former brilliance was nowhere to be found. The city had been fully engulfed in darkness. One could just barely make out landmarks like Tokyo Tower, Roppongi Bills, or other buildings situated in Shinjuku in the distance. The Shibuya beneath our feet was veiled in complete and utter silence. There was very little light, allowing darkness complete reign over the ruined city. If it were noon, then Shibuya's new form would be nothing less than stupefying.
If you want to.
Mia gently let me go, retracting the arm that had been supporting me. I immediately sank down to the ground. Not a single ounce of energy left in my legs.
Will you fly with me?
Mia stared deep into the dark night. Fierce gusts of wind sent her long hair fluttering in the sky, hiding her expression from view. That was when I realized Mia had come here to jump, to follow in her sister's footsteps. With that in mind, my answer was clear. Hell no. I don't want to die. Why would I want to double suicide with the girl who imprisoned me?
I figured you'd say that.
One step at a time, Mia walked toward the edge of the heliport, facing the strong wind head-on.
Oh right. About that Zero-chan figure I ordered you with you.
Suddenly, she stopped and turned around.
I went and picked it up. She's so cute and sexy too. I really love it. So much so that I even keep it on my desk in my room.
A transient smile spread over Mia's lips. Full times for her to have said that, why now? I don't care what you say. You'll still get no sympathy from me.
That's okay. I don't need any sympathy. Well then, goodbye, Nishijo-kun. The boy who killed me. I'm going to where Yua-chan is now. What Nishijo-kun had just said was very reasonable. It was strange though. It made me feel lonely. There was this heartrending pain in my chest. In the end, I'd never been afforded the opportunity to confirm whether or not he was Shogun. Maybe he'd been telling the truth, and I was the one who got it all wrong. But even if I wasn't wrong, there was no point in holding a grudge against him now. If only I hadn't asked Yua-chan to switch places with me back then. If only I had just gone onto the offline and meet myself, then Yua-chan would still be alive. Yua-chan hadn't deserved to die. She had so many friends. Our parents had loved her more than anything, and she'd been the smartest, most beautiful girl I'd ever met. And yet she had died anyway. Kusunoki Yua had died anyway. And when she had, Kusunoki Miya disappeared along with her. She'd vanished into thin air, becoming a ghost. That was a choice I'd made back then. I could no longer tell whether I was alive or dead. All I knew was that Yua-chan wasn't here anymore. So I'd rather be dead. I stood at the edge of the helipad, where Yua-chan and the other four had jumped off that night. Looking down made me feel dizzy. The whole nightscape was pitch black. All the night lights in the city had gone out, and yet even in that darkness I could still tell how high up I really was. I wondered how Yua-chan had felt when she jumped off of here. She had probably been terrified. I'm sorry, Yua-chan. I'm sorry you had to go through something so terrifying because of me.
God.
I'll be going too. Very soon. I'll take the pain that you endured, the pain that I alone was supposed to feel, and engrave it onto my body, Yua-chan. I took a deep breath. My heart and mind were at peace. I wasn't afraid of dying. I spread my wings. My arms lay in the empty air. I closed my eyes. And then I stepped forward into the bottomless abyss before me. And with nothing there to support me anymore, I fell. My whole world turned upside down. There was nothing left to chain me back. Even though I was in free fall, it almost felt like I was floating. Floating amid the rumbling of the wind. The ground was rushing toward me. The very same asphalt that Yua-chan had crashed into two months back. The hardened tar that had crushed her bones, ruptured her organs, and sprayed her blood and gray matter across itself. I don't want to die. Just a moment ago I hadn't been afraid. But the second I lost control of my body, I'd been overcome with a tremendous sense of dread. I don't want to die. Even if Yua-chan had died, I still want to live. It was just my survival instincts taking over. I screamed. I screamed from the bottom of my soul. I desperately reached out my hand to the distant night sky above me. I knew there was no one who could grab onto it. But I reached out all the same. There was no end to my screams. I pleaded. I don't want to die. But nobody heard me. Nobody grabbed my hand. I simply fell, with the earth coming closer and closer. Huh? I felt my body shatter into a million pieces, but that feeling had disappeared soon after.
Huh?
When I came to, I found myself on the roof of Cornelius' tower. Nishijo-kun was in front of me. He still wasn't looking at me, but he was reaching his hand out even so. Why? I definitely jumped. No doubt about it. I'd definitely taken that nearly 180-meter dive and smashed right into the ground. But now I just sat there, staring at Nishijo-kun's hand, utterly dumbfounded. I even forgot to wipe away the tears streaming down my face.
It's done.
Nishijo-kun's words were blunt and curt.
I'd be in deep shit if you died on me. It'd look like I pushed you off. I don't want people to think I'm a criminal.
I was falling. I jumped off. How am I?
Wasn't that just a delusion?
A delusion? You're telling me all those sensations, all that pain was just a delusion? That's impossible. It felt so real. Hey, Nishijo-kun. Yua-chan, she must have felt that same pain when she died. But I thought I was ready to go through the exact same pain as she did, but I just kept thinking how much I didn't want to die. I was the one who was supposed to die, but as I was falling, I didn't want to. I can't jump again. I can't. After feeling that pain firsthand, I'm too scared. I can't jump again. What do I do now?
You already died once. Just now.
Huh?
You already got to know what you have felt. Isn't that enough? I think it's fine to start over again. And live your life as Kusunoki Miya from now on. You can live to the fullest. For Yua's sake.
Thank you. I reached for the hand he extended out to me and took it. It was so very, very warm. I could feel his body heat through his palm. A warmth so comforting I felt my hand stop shaking.
Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Jesus. That put me in the same kind of trance as the first time, the first ending. Holy shit. I don't even have the energy to... Whew. Wow. Well then. I don't know what to say, to be honest with you. I don't feel like there's some words I could use to properly signify how that was. I felt like there was something beautiful at the end that appeared there, but I don't even know how to express it in words what it is I just saw. All I know is there was something so beautiful feeling. Ooh. Ooh. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, well, that was beautiful. Damn. How beautiful. How beautiful indeed. The moon and the sun. The sun and moon ending. Well then. That's yet another ending down. So we're gonna go ahead and end here for today. Next time, we're gonna be doing the Ayase route. So, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoy and hope to see you all next time. Peace.